My ex confessed her feelings for me, but we're both married.
That's why you don't go to high school reunions.
So this will be a weird one. I made a throwaway for it, as I think it's a pretty unique situation that this person in question could very easily figure out is about them. I don't want them knowing my main, even if they have or use Reddit. I, 35 male, am happily married with 2 children. My wife, 32 female, and I have been together for 8 years, married for 4. By the way, this comes from user thrownaway_rebound on the r/OK storytime subreddit. So, we were out shopping in our hometown when we ran into my ex-friend, her parents, and her children. She moved out of the state over 10 years ago, and I haven't seen her since, nor have we had any contact other than Facebook. Happy birthday wishes. Do you do that with your exes?
Nope, sorry.
She is married with 2 kids of her own. Anyway, on to the situation. My father-in-law and her father are friendly with each other. They're both retired military, and they occasionally have breakfast together with their other retired friends. When we ran into each other, my ex, dad congratulated my wife and I on our children. We figured my father-in-law told him we're expecting our 3rd child. I saw my ex-friend look at my wife's belly and then acted distant for the rest of the exchange, whereas she was friendly starting off. We traded pleasantries and said goodbye. My wife and I continue our shopping. By the time we're done, I check my phone and see I have a Facebook message from that ex-friend. Ex-friend says, "It was good to see you again." I say, "You too, the family looks good." Ex-friend, "Yours too. Would you want to grab coffee and catch up? I'm in town for a couple more days." OP, "We're actually pretty busy, otherwise I would be down. I'm sorry." Ex-friend, "I understand. Adulting. Can I ask you a question?" OP, "Sure. What's up?" Ex-friend, "Was I just not your type?" OP, "What do you mean?" Ex-friend, "I'm asking, what did I do wrong?" OP didn't respond as this was out of nowhere.
Facts. All right, I like that.
Ex-friend says, "I pursued you for years. We were inseparable for years, and you never gave us a real chance. I loved you. Our families loved us. Our friends loved us together. You just never committed all the way for us. You wouldn't even have spicy sleep with me, and I need to know why. Was I not good enough? Could you not see yourself married to me and having a family together?"
Ooh. Hey, what does your husband Greg think about this?
We'll talk to your husband about that. I didn't respond and showed the messages to my wife. She knows of this girl and my reasoning for her and I growing apart. Mostly because we see her family everywhere, and she asked. My wife told me to be honest with her, but I'm not sure if that's right. It feels mean. I'm going to give my point of view on our friendship, and I'm hoping I can get some advice on where to go from here. So, basically, she and I met through friends in high school. I was very interested, but she was dating someone at that time. She ended up asking me out a month or so later, and we went on dates and kissed a few times, though we never had any conversation of being official, hence me calling her friend and not girlfriend. One night while riding in the car, her, who I thought was her ex-boyfriend, called her and asked her when she'd be over. She didn't have it on speaker, but I could still hear the conversation. She told him, "I can't talk right now." And he asked, "Who are you with?" She didn't tell him. He later figured it out and messaged me on Facebook asking if I knew they were still together. I apologized and said I didn't, and I would cut things off. I called her, and she started crying, saying she didn't have the courage to tell me they were still together, but she liked me so much and was going to break up with him. I cut her off anyway.
Ooh.
It's one of those things where, oh, wow, you're cheating on 2 guys and you don't get either of them.
Yeah.
She just wants more.
I need more attention.
I like you so much. Guess what? I guarantee you she's saying that to the other guy too.
Ooh.
I like you so much. He's just a friend.
He's just a friend. Don't worry about him.
Fast forward a few more months and she reaches out and we go through the same motions. Her wanting to be with me, but always having another guy messaging her that I would catch out of the corner of my eye. This lasted embarrassingly for years. Throughout college and our early 20s, it was always the same. She'd reach out, we'd reconnect, and things began getting serious again. I'd check her social media and see she just broke up with someone. We even went on vacation to the mountains together for a weekend, and the same thing. She had literally just been there a month ago with her ex. The trip with me was her idea.
Maybe she wants you, but needs to make sure that with other guys, she doesn't want that. She would like to do the activity with you by checking with the other guys first and then do them with you. That's what I think.
I'm going to say this right now. She sucks, but also OP for falling for this many times. This seems like it happened more than 3 times. Where it's like, he's like, this happened countless times. The same motions over and over again. So you're kind of enabling her and following her in her footsteps. She's treating you like a little puppy. The worst part is both of our families really did love us together. My parents were never rude to my girlfriends, but would ask me how ex-friend is doing these days. Or snide remarks about how her parents miss me. Heck, even my now father-in-law at one point mentioned that ex's dad brought up how he really thought I'd be his son one day. I confided in my friends years ago that I'm always just a rebound or backup plan, and that's why I can never commit or get more physical with her. They told me just to sleep with her when she comes calling and don't pursue anything more. No, don't do that. The problem was I wanted more, but felt used. Anyways, every time we would plan things out where spicy sleep was more than likely on the table, I'd see a guy message her or I'd see a post on social media, and it just ruined my enthusiasm. When I say that, I mean literally, it crushed my confidence every single time. Again, like I said, you're like her little puppy dog. She just wants you as a little lap dog and just like, oh yeah, let me play with you for a little bit. No, don't give her the satisfaction. Don't keep doing it. But it seems like OP keeps doing it. One of my best friends told me I didn't have to pay attention to all of that nonsense and could have just had my fun with her. Also, don't do that. Didn't mean I had to chase a relationship with knowing I was always a rebound. That felt crappy to me. I had other girlfriends here and there, but I wanted this girl. We just clicked, you know? But it's like some sort of goddamn mystical being was showing me a sign every single time things were going to progress our relationship. So every time he was like, oh, I should do this, a guy's messaging her, or like he sees like, oh, she just broke up with someone, but like there's something. It's always something. I just didn't want her to be getting over someone else or having someone on a back burner when we'd reconnect. And that's what she does. She sees you as her plan B or C.
Yeah, you're not second choice, buddy.
You're first choice.
I think she likes to do this thing where she's always going after her next guy. So whenever she's with you, she's always after her next guy.
She has you in like her back pocket whenever it's like, oh, that's speed dial. Like, oh, I need you. Like, I just need comfort. I need emotion. I need someone to talk to.
She's after her next guy, calling me her next guy.
And guess what? OP's feeding into it every single time. I think he wants to be her friend, but also he's like, I really like you. I really like her. That's the one.
I need to see a picture of these people. That's what I need.
Yeah, maybe she's just super hot. Maybe that's my own insecurity, but I know how I felt and it didn't feel good. So I slowly distanced myself. After a short amount of time passed, I met my wife. She met her husband and our lives moved on with little to no contact until the other day. I haven't responded to the messages and it's been 2 days. I was thinking of just lying and saying it's not her fault, or just not responding. But my wife is insisting I tell her the whole thing. I know this is a word wall, but I'm honestly conflicted. Why are you conflicted? You are married and you have children. She is married and she has children.
I mean, if your wife's excited about this, she can like type up a message and send it for you.
I mean, I would just be like, yeah, ghosting her is one thing.
He's like, I'm done with this. Why are we doing this still?
I don't think that's why he's conflicted.
Ooh, he still has those like feelings.
I told my wife I was going to ask others for their opinion, and I'm considering the internet as my others. We have some relevant comments here. The Taco Life, OP. She's doing exactly the same thing she always did with you. I would bet all the cash in my wallet if you were able to look into her life, her marriage is crumbling, or her husband isn't paying enough attention to her. You were the great white whale that got away, and she is trying to test the water to see if you're down to do the same old song and dance. Now, even more of a challenge since you have a happy family and marriage. Don't engage with her. This sounds exactly like the same cycle you described from your young adulthood. Like I said, little puppy. What do you think?
Yeah, just keep living life. I wouldn't respond.
I wouldn't respond. I would tell her, like, that's gross, and if you keep pursuing, I'm going to tell your husband.
I'm a screenshot away from ruining your marriage. Please stop talking to me.
We have an update. Thank you, everyone, for your responses. I decided to listen to the majority and responded to ex-friend, let's call her Ava. Let's call her Ava. The response was well received, and we chatted the rest of the week and met up on the weekend before Easter. The short of it is we're both leaving our partners. What?
Dude, that was not on my bingo card.
Where's the referee? Like, no, yellow flag. Ava and I are gonna try this relationship again now that we completely open up to each other about our true feeling. Thank you all for the encouragement to do this. Couldn't have done it without you. April Fools! I would never. I hate when they do that. You really had us in the first half there. They always do. They're so good at that.
And then we went to the cabins and saw Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
And the aliens abducted us. The real update is pretty anticlimactic, unfortunately. I ended up just never responding to Ava.
Nice.
It had already been 5 days by the time I read through every response and decided just to let it go. My wife was fine with that, but told me to block her if she messages me again. Smart. We did a couple Easter egg hunts with different family members yesterday, including at my father-in-law's. They have a decent-sized property and host quite a few people, so I wasn't surprised to see non-family members. I was, however, surprised when Ava's parents were there with her children. After all the adults scattered and hid the eggs, when the kids started their search, Ava's dad came over to chat with me, nothing out of the ordinary, and we shot the crap for a few minutes. By the way, you can shoot the crap with us for more than a few minutes because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to this, but what do you think? Was that the right thing to ghost her?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
He's already done it time and time again. He's married now in a committed relationship.
He really had me with that. I was like, oh no. I hate when you people do that, but like, it's funny.
I should have called it. I should have been like, yeah, that happened to me once before.
No, you did the right thing. You have a family. You're happy. Good on you. This never happens, but OP communicated this with his wife.
That is true.
He was like, look, and she was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do about it? You have my full support.
True.
But back to the story. Towards the end, I asked if the kids were staying with them for Easter, and he basically told me Ava and her husband were having some troubles, and they needed some time alone to sort things out.
Who would have called it?
We're not shocked here. He didn't go into specifics, so I don't know exactly what the troubles were, but congratulations to those of you who called that one. For now, this should conclude the story. If she does happen to reach out again, and I feel it's worth letting you all know, then I will. Otherwise, thank you again. We have one more relevant comment, and it's the same person, the Taco Life. Oh my God, I knew it. I called this on the original post that she and her husband were having trouble, and she was just trying to get the same old ego boost / even more of one because you are clearly very happily married. Congrats on the baby, by the way, OP. You win the Reddit Gold Star of the Month for handling this like a god dang hero. Excellent husband, and your wife is an awesome teammate / bad butt herself. Good job, OP. She clearly just needed some attention, and even though you were married, had moved on, and she'd be a homewrecker, she didn't care. Even asking, why didn't you want me? Why? After 10 freaking years is obviously fishing for compliments and an ego boost, especially since she was the reason you never worked out. Maddening. You did the right thing 100%. Edit, spelling error, that annoyed me. OP says, thank you. I noticed on the original post you talked about it possibly being competitive. My wife said the same based on her reaction to the pregnancy news. Either competitive or possibly fertility issues after 2 children. To be honest, she's put a lot more thought into reasoning than I have. And that's the end of that story.
That's a good teamwork right there. I like this. Good job.
You did the right thing. Congrats.
And that's it for that story.